The All Smiling Faces podcast is now sponsored by Tyre Spot, the Northeast's leading tyre supplier with branches across the region. Tyre Spot don't just do tyres, they cover everything from servicing to wheel alignment. They can handle every aspect of your car's maintenance. For more information, visit tyrespot.co.uk. Enjoy the episode. Hi everybody, welcome back to the Always Smiling Faces podcast on the GallowgateShots YouTube channel. As you can see, it is three of us tonight, because guess where Decker is? Decker is celebrating his 40th birthday yet again.
Is he not 43 now?
I've got no idea. It's like Groundhog Day for Decker, isn't it?
It's been that long.
Aye, but
Decker's whenever we don't win, isn't it? Decker just doesn't bother.
Aye. If Arsenal had a win, he would have been here.
Aye, they did.
Oh, that's where he is. He's on the Arsenal podcast. He's on Arsenal Fans TV. But it is myself, Kris, your host, joined by Mark and Besty this evening. We are here despite a poor performance from Newcastle United. And we're going to start right there, boys, because I'm not going to say it's anybody's having a meltdown, because I've seen a lot of people saying, oh, everybody's kicking off. But our WhatsApp group was fine. It was fine. Everybody.
I don't believe that.
No, it was fine. Honestly, our WhatsApp group was fine after the game. People go, it's just one of them days. It happens.
Is Ian still on his honeymoon?
Ian was a one.
There was a little bit of,
I don't think there was.
not head loss, but there was a little bit of kind of.
Was Adam's phone not working?
Loss of,
Adam's phone's not working. Ian's still on his honeymoon.
Leafy Dragons.
Dragons, God knows where.
But yeah, despite all of that, boys, it was one to forget from Newcastle, Bestie, because we were shit. Like,
you know what it is? Yeah, that's it. Like, thanks for watching. The first half, going in at one apiece, I thought, well, they're in the game. We were second best we had spells in the first half where I thought we were getting at them quite well. Didn't really give Martinez a great deal to do, but we've got a good record of Villa. A good record of beating 3-0 down there last season. 3-1.
Last season it hasn't been. I think the time before that, best it was back in 2013.
Yeah, I think it was a bit of
last time.
A while, but
been a few draws
against Emery. Would kind of we had a good record, playing against them. So I thought, well, half time, get in 1-1. The second half we could come out. We did it last year. Was the second half where Murphy got that third goal and the game kind of went to 5 at the back, if you remember. And that just didn't happen at all. We didn't seem to learn. It might have been a case. No, I don't want to point the finger at Tyndall, because I think that's a little bit.
I think it's easy to do that now in hindsight.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, so I'm not going to say it because I don't think it's fair. They attacked with Schär and Trippier. I thought really struggled to deal with them coming forward all through the first half, and then again in the second. We didn't kind of have any plan B, which is something that's been levelled at Howe anyway. So would it have changed? I don't know.
That was their whole game plan, wasn't it? Was to, because I mean, they even talked about it afterwards, and you can see it as what we've been doing in the previous games is going man for man and getting really tight. And their idea was a bit long ball, in all fairness, was just to hit it into that corner and get in behind Schär and Trippier, in behind Burn.
It's kind of how we play against them.
Yeah.
Because that's what they do. They normally would defend high, go, and we would just kind of be over the top. We'll do that, and it works. There's nothing wrong with it. But yeah, we couldn't deal with them. Their first goal was massively fortunate, but then they hit the bar in the post however many times, so you could argue that kind of we had our slice as well there. Yeah, just a poor one. I mean, with still one defeat in 7, is that? Including the cup final?
Liverpool, the last one, wasn't it? When they beat them?
Yeah.
Down there,
it was Brighton in the cup on the 2nd of March.
Brighton in the cup, yeah, but Anfield was last time, really. But I think
6 games ago.
We said it, like I've just said there, Bessie. In hindsight, yes, you can easily point fingers at certain things not changing, but I think we'll have to agree that it's 3 games in 7 days, and if you're looking at that week ahead, you're thinking 6 points out of the next 3 games is great, and it's going to put us in a fantastic position, which has done. Hence why we're still sat in 3rd as we currently record this one. But sometimes you just literally got to say, right, the better team won that one, and I think you saw from the first couple of minutes that we were second best throughout. And there's a couple of players that I do want to mention, because I think like you mentioned, our two centre backs were targeted massively. Lack of pace. We don't have any pace in. Ollie Watkins had a field day, absolute field day. But once again, Villa have that opportunity to bring in somebody like Ollie Watkins that was on the bench the previous game and go, there you go, lads, where we are rolling out the same starting 11 for the third game in a row.
I think that's the biggest thing, isn't it? Is the size of the differences in the squad. And I know that, like, there's been a bit of back and forth on tiredness and stuff like that, and them saying, it's out this way, we've played the same amount of games in the same time, but you just look at their bench and what they're able to bring on versus
all us in the game.
And obviously our starting 11, bar maybe 2 changes, is literally probably played all of those last 6 games that we're talking about, because of, and again, we've sat here and said the bench is looking stronger, but it's still that sort of starting 11. It's not as easy as just dropping one of them out and you've got somebody of the same caliber across the entire 11 that you're bringing in and replacing. We know we're lucky on the left-hand side with Gordon and Barnes being a good swap.
And I'll probably say that's the only position right now with players available where there's a potential battle for a starting position.
Yeah.
Everywhere else kind of picks itself right now.
At the minute, but with fit players, I mean, obviously when Hall's fit again, when Botman's back again, there are conversations.
That's the two.
Yeah. Whereas you look at Villa and you've got Rashford and Watkins fighting for that position up top.
Yes, Kris, yes, that's correct. Aye.
It's been a heavy weekend, Mark.
Not even just that, because obviously they brought Rashford on and played him out on the left, didn't it, the weekend, and he's played out there a lot for Man United. But in midfield as well, like, I think that, in fairness, I think they won a big battle in there at the weekend. Like they almost played with 2 sitting in a 6, and that kind of hurt us a little bit because it stopped us getting forward. But then they were able to break a lot quicker and just flood that midfield and get that ball forward really, really quickly. And it exploited the gaps in between of just having Sandro and then straight into your back 4. So but like you say, it's one of those games, and it's just one of those days where they were just the better team. They had the beating of were on the day, and I think it's just a combination of things that led to that being the case.
Sounds like you're deflating there,
I was going to say exactly.
Sound my tire on the car.
It sounds just like I'm deflating it, but it's a funny one where they had just played PSG in the week prior. And obviously before the cup final, Liverpool had just played PSG, got knocked out of the Champions League, very similar. But I think we were kind of looking at, I think, no, I wonder if they could do a favour again, But the way that I played on Tuesday, it was before we played Palace, wasn't it? On Tuesday night, they were excellent, and obviously got about really
was that rotation, Bessie? It goes back to the I think it was it 3-4 changes that they made?
4, I think it was.
And they're a good, Villa are a really good side. The reason that they are not where we are in the league at the minute, I'm not far off for points wise, but they've had that Champions League, and you have the kind of the tiredness that comes off that, and the kind of the lethargy and the more games as well. Like, but it's not a great result, is it? Getting 4-1 down there. I must admit, I turned it off when the 4th went in.
Bessie, it could have been more though. Like we're saying 4.
Oh yeah,
like,
could have been
10.
Well, that was the ironic thing we've been saying, because we've gone from scoring none at Anfield to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in consecutive games.
And I was watching
the
in the stars.
We could concede
Villa were going to score 6.
You're right, though. Like we were fortunate because, like, say they hit the post twice. I want to say maybe a couple of days.
I think 3 times.
But then
twice.
There was an element of luck, probably with all of their goals. There wasn't anywhere it was like the first one we took a massive deflection off Schär,
which was
the one came off.
Just to stick with that one, that first one, Tonali found himself in that spot where he normally drops into in that right back position. And he just hits and hopes trying to clear that. And it just lands.
There's no ball from so
there's nothing on.
The ball
just lands at Tielemans, doesn't it?
So it goes back to it's Watkins that picks it up there.
Tielemans Watkins plays it. And then Tielemans plays the through pass, and then Watkins picks it up when he's not really meant to. But that's one of those things. But I agree, Mark. All the goals, a shade of fortune maybe, but then. That they were good enough to, and we were poor enough.
You make you look when you're getting forward like that, and getting into dangerous positions, and that's sometimes what you've got to do. If you blast one across the face of the goal, it'll takes a deflection and go in, and it's something that we don't often do.
We had one
just
before
have
Palace,
so
Okay, he got on the score sheet yet again for it.
Yeah. There's a funny stat, and I'm sure I remember hearing this a couple of years ago, that we've got the record for relegating the most teams. I think with so many, 5 or 6 teams have played Newcastle, got beaten and been relegated. Next weekend, there's a chance.
Or relegated on that fixture, you mean?
Yeah.
On that date.
So Ipswich, we've got it. And I'm just thinking, I'm looking forward to next week. I think we've got a week till the next
Do
game.
we do against Cardiff?
It's Cardiff.
Did Stephen Taylor score?
The Cardiff one was beaten 3-0, and there was a big walkout. Do you remember?
I remember Stephen Taylor scored against one. He celebrated like he had just won the league.
Yeah,
and he had relegated a team
because we were. It was one of the. That was the game, if memory serves, where Pardew couldn't come up his
dugout.
Oh,
that was brilliant. That game,
because there was a big walkout on whatever. I wish I ended up in Strawberry. But I'm sure we've done it 5 or 6 times. I think we hold the record, and we've got a chance on Saturday. You'd imagine. I mean, Ipswich are done, aren't they? Even if West Ham get a point or 2 points are down. Well, yeah.
I want to talk about one more player. Two. I thought it's another game where he's kind of been isolated in a game, and he just wasn't getting the service. I don't think he's had the service for the last couple of games. Yes, obviously he's managed to get assists and get on the score sheet, but he's probably his own making at that point.
I don't know. I think Palace. Do you think the chances he had?
Yeah, I suppose.
I
suppose. I just think this. I think he was just not involved at all against.
No, we find that in games where we do struggle in midfield, you don't create a great deal for him. And
I'm not throwing that at his door. Like I think
it's 100%. It's the making of the midfield, and that is potentially where we then need to. And again, for me, it comes back to the squad. If that we don't have that player in there, that way we can just change things around and have somebody that can go in, sit between. I mean, we've talked about Willock as potentially being that type of player, but we haven't seen that from him certainly this season or last season.
Mean, as like a number 10
it's just in that in between the striker and midfield, just to link up that play a little bit. And again, that was something that Villa did very well. They got into those positions and caused issues in there because of just overcrowding. We're in midfield, and it then comes back to of not having that plan B that you mentioned earlier on. There is because is it that we haven't got a plan B, or we just don't have the players to be able to initiate a plan B because we haven't got anybody to do those things differently.
I do want to address the midfield and Bruno in particular, because he did not have a good game at all.
Strong, didn't he? He really struggled. He
struggled throughout, and was so the frustrated Bruno come out as well, especially when he took that tumble in the box and was expecting a penalty, which wasn't even a penalty shout at all. He just falls into the player, and then he comes out and absolutely I can't remember who it was, but he clatters somebody and picks up a yellow card at that point. And you just saw the game slowly getting away from Bruno. And do you know what it is? When he doesn't have much pace, and I think that's what you get best from Tonali. He's everywhere on the field. Yeah. As soon as the ball's past Bruno, he's not catching up. He's in mud, and he was numerous times.
And that's why where you can look at having somebody that's a bit different in these type of games, where if it isn't working out with what you've got on, you can swap them out, and then maybe you do drop to having two sitting further back and somebody as a single point up ahead. It does mean that you've then got to either drop Joe Linton or Bruno to do it, or do you drop one of those back into that position and then have somebody there? We see a lot of times though when Bruno struggles, the team struggle.
Yeah,
it's not the first time; it'll not be the last time.
Yeah, I agree.
What didn't help though, you mentioned in there of him throwing himself to the ground. Jesus, Villa did that every 5 minutes to break up the game, and the referee was stinking.
Asensio was on the deck more than he was stood up.
He did it. It was like a Bruno game for him.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. He won so many free kicks.
That's why I find it hard to criticize, because
Bruno does it all the time. I just think, do you know what it is? I think the referee. I'm not putting that result down on the referee at all. But it was a bad.
No, he contributes to it though.
Yeah. Any chance he got to blow the whistle, an award, what you would probably say a 50-50 challenge towards Villa, was second to none. It was horrendous. What Gillett, wasn't it? That's
he's always terrible though. Yeah. He's always terrible.
He's normally on VAR.
I don't know why he hates us, but he does. He hates me.
Yeah.
Any game that he's involved with, he's going to have a stinker. And he gave a free kick against Watkin in our box.
Mm-hmm.
when they
right,
were all
okay.
claiming for a penalty.
Yeah, and he
He gives a free kick the other way. So he's dived. Is that what you're saying? He's dived.
Oh, that one with the. I thought that was
Yeah.
a little bit. He didn't dive. It's weird because they said in VAR they said that he initiated the contact. Well, I don't think he did. But it was weird because I thought he clipped Schär's leg and then stood in front of him and then went down. Whereas if he doesn't
Dived, you mean?
well, not because his foot has hit Schär's leg. So I think if he goes straight down there and doesn't take that elaborate, no Harry Kane step, where he just takes that step and goes down.
Yeah.
And but Kane Rose make sure you got to touch him. But his foot's already hit Schär's leg, like in the motion of running. So why not just go straight down instead of doing? I think if he doesn't take that step, it's probably a penalty.
Gordon wins that.
Yeah.
Gordon
I think
wins that
because
penalty.
it takes that extra action makes referee go now. It's a sort of foul, is it? But I think if I look at it, because he does he does that over Schär's thigh.
You do it to me.
Oh, I
That's
like
how
that.
it goes there. That's what
nice.
Then
you sit here every week.
That's Sorry, I'm aroused.
all the drags now, aren't you?
But I'll do what I think because Watkins takes that big step across Schär that was Rashford's been done for a few times. That the referee's gone like nah. But I don't think he initiates a contact. I think he tries to, but weirdly he tries to initiate the contact after the contact's already happened, which is a bit peculiar. But there we are. I thought, he should have been booked. Yeah, aye. Why not?
There's a comment from Callum Lewis. I'll put it on screen for those that are watching. He says, Alan Smith on commentary done full 90 minutes on how good Villa were.
Everything that we did,
so excited.
Everything that we did, it was but kind of Villa have let them do that a bit there, like Newcastle. But he would not give Newcastle any praise, and I know we didn't play very well.
Is that Alan Smith, who's famously from Birmingham?
Yes, it was. It wasn't Alan Smith couldn't crop up anywhere. Alan Smith of Newcastle United fame didn't score a goal. It was I. But even then, like it wasn't quite as bad as. Did you watch the Man United game last week against Lyon, the European Cup match?
Oh, in the week.
I didn't watch it live.
It was
They scored 2 in the last. It was
Rio.
It was Robbie Savage.
Rio and Robbie Savage.
Yeah.
By God.
I've seen the video afterwards of how the cameras sat on them.
Yeah.
And Ferdinand giving it the big and as he's a tit him.
We expected of them
He's
because
the
they are.
No, but
He's
he's
the
still
worst. Real Ferdinand is the worst man in football.
Yes. Like,
And
I
I'm
saw something
including,
on social
sex
media.
offenders
I was going to say that's a big
He's
claim.
the worst. I'm not saying he's done those things, but he's the worst man in football.
Honestly, I saw something on social media the other day. It might have got put in our group to be fair, and somebody said I would pay an extra £5 a month for an option to mute Rio Ferdinand.
I'll put a thing on. It was on I can't believe that Katy Perry wasn't the most insufferable person I've seen this week. Because honestly, Ferdinand and Savage were disgraceful. Smith wasn't quite as bad as that, but there's no like.
Is it not a little bit acceptable that with it being a European game?
I don't hate. No,
there are two ex-players of Man United.
Wait, Savage,
one of them was
Christ.
He's still thinking about that.
No, he was.
He
was through the academy and stuff like that. And they're both,
he's the
claimed to have
one.
been
He's the one that
supporters
got
of them.
pushed to one side. Like,
Can you remember when we played? Was it Newport? We in the cup. Someone away in the cup. Then you could hear them singing "Robbie Savage is a wanker" through the.
yeah,
He got really shirty about it. That's great. That.
Was it not Robbie Savage that was a game at St James Park where the referee hit him in the face?
Yes.
The referee put his arm on and
Yeah,
bashed
yeah,
him in the face.
Aye.
Everybody would love to do that to Robbie Savage, though, wouldn't it?
I've actually got
He
Robbie
was
Savage's mobile number.
Insufferable.
So
How
we're
on earth you're
because I used to do stuff with BT Sport, didn't I?
All right.
Yeah, I used to do it every.
Oh, I
every
remember
Saturday
that.
morning.
Yeah, you just ring him up.
I've never done it since we were on the coach on the way to Man U away. And they're like, oh, we'll ring you live. And obviously, I was on the Ashley bus, not Mike Ashley. People, there's a pub in Shields called the Ashley. And I was on that, and obviously, I was live on BT Sports, and everybody's just chanting in the background like daft stuff. I've never been invited on.
They rang you
since.
live to do that. What would they think was happening?
I've got no idea. I was just on the front of a coach near the driver.
I mean, of all the buses, the bus from the Ashley's probably, or the Iona is probably not the best one there. But like any away day bus, it's not going to be sitting there like.
I'm sure it was Man U away. I'm sure it was.
Which one?
The one where there was the 3-2-1, I believe it was.
Alexis Sanchez.
The one where he came on and changed the game.
Muto and
Kennedy scored
Kennedy.
in the first 5 minutes.
The blue
was that one?
Aye.
But the rang us on the Saturday afternoon it was. But anyway.
God, I honestly thought we were going to win that game.
I did. We had them until Sanchez came on.
Yeah.
There's a great photo that Serena Taylor, the club photographers, took. And it's me and Mark, like we're right at the back. And
You love the camera I used to.
Well, like,
no, we were on the front row of the upper tier.
Yeah, we're 2-0 up, and like obviously we're loving life at this point. There's another one where we must have just conceded the third. He looks like he's about to jump off the top tier.
Used to, your connections at the club.
Doug's on that photo with her and Jamie.
Yes, right next to her. But yeah, I don't even know what we're talking about. What we're talking about there.
Where did I come from? I can't remember.
Cheating referees.
All right.
Oh, and then Alan Smith.
And Alan Smith.
Alan
right.
Smith, yeah, it was like he just didn't want to give away any praise at all. Nothing. It didn't do it.
He was absolutely convinced that was a penalty as well. He was trying everything in his power of commentating to give a penalty against
His
us.
power of commentating.
Exactly.
Just speaking really loud.
Pleading, that's definitely a penalty. Red card.
Yeah, it was frustrating. I saw,
But in a Brummie accent.
There's a lot of people on social media complaining about it, but I think I'm not just saying this, but I think every fan base will probably complain about the commentators when you're on the losing side of a game commentating, because I was getting more frustrated watching the game. And I'm probably just getting these senses were getting heightened.
I don't
Alan
always.
Smith.
There's a few like Alan Smith's one. Don Goodman never gives it. He hates it.
He used to be on Sunderland. Though. Did he used to be on
He
Sunderland?
was a Sunderland
Yeah.
and Werewolves. He was actually.
Sunderland,
I don't
Wolves.
mind Don Goodman, but he hates us. There's a handful that you got to Savage. Is always on Savage can get
Yeah.
It's but you're on there to be in the main impartial, aren't you?
Well, that's what I
But
think. That's what we believe, but I don't think that's ever the case, and
Well,
hasn't
it's
been for a long time.
When you got like Monday Night Football and it's always like, I don't know, Gary Neville's not done it for a while. Like, but if you're playing like Liverpool and it's always Carragher, you know what you're going to get, don't you? You know,
Yeah, it's just like the Overlap podcast, which is just a Man United podcast.
Duncan Ferguson's on the new one.
Yeah, he is.
And
Yeah,
I really want to watch because I love Duncan Ferguson.
I can't understand a word he says. I'll have to watch it. The subtitles.
What?
No, you did not.
Seriously, Duncan's all right.
I
It's
can't
not,
know.
He's,
I can't
he's-
understand.
that broad knack.
Oh,
He's full of a few tall tales on it. Like in fairness,
If you told tales.
well, he's 6'4".
I was going to say, you know, implying that I'm you. That's
I mean, I'm not.
that
I'm
was
not.
Mark Walker.
Allegedly.
He said Mark Walker saying that dunk, not me.
I wouldn't say it to his face, obviously.
I know, he told him.
there's Jules has asked a question. How did Matt Ritchie come across?
Small,
White shoes.
angry.
Yeah, well, his trainers
White
on, did he?
shoes
Yeah, white.
He didn't have the.
No, I don't think it was trainers. I think it was he was wearing all black with white
like
dress shoes. I
Elvis,
think.
like-
No, he wasn't wearing like. Surely not.
I had it. I didn't. It looked to me like he was
Which
wearing
one
white
isn't it?
slip-ons.
There'll be like some sort of like white designer trainer thing. Won't there?
Oh, Hugo
Why
Boss.
did you not get the memo that all the football pundits have to wear those black trainers or the
With
white?
the white
They all wear
white
them same
bottoms on
things, don't they?
Yeah.
It's probably the
You
white
got them
version
on.
of them.
Not quite. I've got Adidas trainers. I've got white when I got them. Oh, I hit me thigh. 6 weeks out.
But yeah, let's talk about our lack of options from the bench, though, because I think that's probably where we massively lack in changing the game. We're talking about obviously the last two games. Yes, you're picking up 6 points against Man United and Palace. You go into this one, and yes, once again, we're going to talk about hindsight. It was if we set that up incorrectly, going against a better team in Villa, or is it just one of those things that now that it's full time, we've obviously had what horses handed to it. Come and look at that guy. We should have done something different rather than just rolling the same team out and the same tactics out.
And to the point that you were going to make, I know, Besty, you weren't wanting to blame Tyndall, but I do wonder whether, had Howe have been there, we would have made some tactical changes during the game, like in the second half to like stop, because we could all see watching the game what was happening and what we needed to do, but we didn't deviate from the team and the formation and the way that we're playing. We didn't try to counteract where they were causing us the issues, and that for me was something. Had Howe have been there, you would have hoped that he would have made some tweaks to stop those threats, because we can't make any real substitutions to do it other than what
Gordon.
do you bring Gordon on, and
Did Gordon come on at all?
Yeah.
he came on later on, but even just dropping
Everybody got
asking Murphy to drop a little bit further back in. Oh God, no, I'm not. Just asking him to. I was going to say, just ask him to drop back and defend a little bit, but he couldn't even fucking do that from the first minute.
Is that because you're in Decker's seat?
It
Maybe.
must be something in that chair. That cushion.
But but literally, how many times did they just run past you, particularly for the bloody left back's goal? He literally goes straight past him, and he just doesn't track him
I
at
think- I
all.
think it was a
Tries to
full-
track him, but he's just
He doesn't.
I
he's
think it was
beyond
a
him.
full team.
Watch that goal back. He does not go
I
with
don't
him
want to
at
watch
all.
any of it back. I'll quite happily say that if I see any of that game again, it'll be by coincidence. It'll just because they happen to be showing highlights. And this next week's probably the most likely, because they show highlights on Sky or before what's next game, Ipswich. I went to the game on Saturday, so that won't happen then. And then that's it. It's done. It's in the past. I don't need.
Nah, if you've made it through today without seeing
it's
it,
an
you'll be
aberration.
fine.
It's not canon that we get that game on Saturday. But we'll put 7 past Ipswich on Saturday, and everything will be
We're
fine.
just skipping the 6.
We're just sick. We don't even need 6.
Make up. Get an extra one.
6 plus 7.
Aye.
11.
Well, we scored one of them. We scored
13,
one, so
actually, but,
we're
you know.
5 in debt at the minute. So that means that we've got to get 12.
Why not?
Does the lack of quality on the bench worry you though, Besty?
No.
They're not.
Nah.
Do you think it's because we're
It's where we
possibly
are.
going to address it?
It's where we are. Villa have got they've got a bit more strength and depth than us, but they've sold to buy and all that kind of thing. Like, that we don't really want to have to do as much as we can. So the lack of strength and depth on the bench doesn't worry us because it's nothing new, and I think it's something that we'll be addressing in.
They made a lot of money on
6-7 games time.
David Luiz.
Douglas
Luiz,
David
not
Luiz,
David Luiz.
Yeah,
He's a completely different player.
He is a different
Douglas
player.
Luiz. Yeah.
So no, I'm not. I'd rather have more strength and depth, but I think that I don't think anyone could say that we aren't going the right way with regards to where. Even if you say after the season we finished 4th, so the last 2 seasons we're improving. We've won a cup since then. We're a far better team than we were. I honestly think this might be the best Newcastle team I've ever seen.
I was saying that the other day, like.
Yeah. So I would say that strength and depth wise, the squad could be a bit stronger, but the better we get, we're a cup winning team now. It hopefully won't be 70 years. It hopefully won't be 20th as long before we win the next cup. We'll be back in Europe next year, regardless whether or not it's a Champions League. Likelihood is it will be. And if it's not, it'll probably be at the minute we're a Conference League playoff team. That's what I qualify for by winning the league AFL Cup.
As it stands,
Yeah. I don't think we're going to finish low enough in the league not to qualify for at least the Europa League.
Like the next one up.
I think it's more than likely going to be Champions League.
What's left? 5 games, 6 games?
There's 5 games left. We've got 3 at
We'll play
home.
33 games, have we?
I think so. I'm sure we've got
Is
5.
that
We've got 3 at home and 2 away.
It's Ipswich, Chelsea, Everton at home, Brighton, and Arsenal away. Yeah, you're right.
5.
Yeah, because I thought it was you're right, because it was 33. So 5 games left, and then in 6 league games time, I think we'll have a far stronger bench. I think you'll probably see Longstaff and Wilson won't be on it there anymore. They'll be away. We'll spend some money. I think Murphy probably wouldn't be. So Murphy becomes one of the squad players.
Do you think Longstaff will go?
Yeah.
I'm not so sure.
I think he will.
I think Longstaff will go like.
Even Howe said that his long-term future is not really.
Yeah.
And Howe doesn't give anything away like that.
Just you're looking at your homegrown academy players. Even more important next season if we do qualify for Champions League. I mean, I know we have got again. There was a stat the other day. Did we have 7 English first team starters or something like that?
Well, you've got to have so many trained in the country
from your academy as
and
well.
so many trained at the club. With trained at the club, you've got you've got Miley.
You got 2 Mileys.
Miley and Longston. No, Miley. The other Miley's gone.
Yeah, Jamie Miley's away.
Jamie's gone. He's a Darlington.
What's sold?
He's
gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that.
Darlington, I'm sure he's at
Oh,
Darlington.
that's a shame. Yeah, but the thing is, you can kind of get
Like
around that, can't you? Like, because
Nuwani, one of his girls.
you can kind of get around it because you can put one of them on the bench, like with no chance they're ever going to play a game.
Well, I don't.
in
That's why
Champions League.
I don't think that's that onerous that we would to that kind of set of rules that would get Longstaff going in the summer. And I think we've got enough there. Like I say, Miley, you've got Neve, you've got Sanusi, we've got players coming through on the bench all the time. Mark Gillespie, does he count as a homegrown?
Well, that's probably one that will be away, I would have thought.
I think
because him and Ruddy are both out of contract, aren't they?
I think, what do you call him? Black will go as well.
Possibly.
I literally forgot that I had that many goalkeepers for a second.
Blackademus and players.
That's a weird thing with how it's always said that Howe likes to have 4 goalkeepers for training. So you've got like Darlo's
definitely a Leeds. He's played today.
Back in the Premier League tomorrow, next week probably. Sorry,
they were rampant first half.
The Bravka, Pope, at the minute Ruddy, Black, and Gillespie. So like, what's Gillespie?
Got 5.
Gillespie just in the stack.
Put the cones out.
Man, I just look at
living his best life.
What a job! Man.
Starting the chance off.
Gone exercise a few hours a day, kick a ball around and reach. Done. $5,000 a week, whatever.
But I mean that.
What a life.
Michael, I'm sure it's Ndidi or whatever he's called. He was on the bench in the Champions League last season against PSG. He's playing for Blue Star now.
Yeah.
So it just shows you, which I think he's better than that. Like in fairness, but it's just the the circumstances of young players trying to break through with a top team, aren't they? So
players drop off. So like Lewis Story went right the way down to he played for Shields, Heaven Town, and he went to Gateshead as well afterwards. So, but there's players there that honestly, the players coming through. Heffernan, he's probably getting towards that point now where he qualified for a homegrown spot in the squad. I don't think that if Selling Longstaff would really have that big an effect on the registration kind of the chances of having enough players to do that. I'm not saying I'd love them to go, but if we're talking about kind of getting people off the wage bill, the homegrown thing, they call it an extra, whatever they call that, the PSR. I think he'd be wanting to go. Wilson would probably go. I think the chance Trippier goes in the summer. I think
you're selling half the team, yeah.
It's not as if I'm the first person to say that these people are probably going to go. Am I? Talk of Pope, Brenton Leeds one, Nick Pope.
Right, but then the worry is that
Longstaff was linked
all of those go. We know with the financial constraints that we've got, we cannot possibly replace all of them and strengthen at the same time, and that's a huge worry for me. Yeah. It's a difference between like as we've just seen somebody like Douglas Luiz leaving, which was a big name for them, big player, brought in a lot of money.
David Luiz is even bigger, yeah.
But they brought in 3-4 players with that. So did Carlos go as well from there? Has he left as well?
Injured, didn't he? He might on the summer.
I think he went as
well.
But
then again, yes, if we look at it and say we can't lose too many numbers, but there's some of the players there that just aren't doing the job right now. And you look at the likes of Callum Wilson, who he's just honestly he's dropped dropped off the edge of a cliff.
I think with Wilson, sorry, Mark, I'm not going to talk, but it would have been nonsense. So I'm. Wilson, I feel a bit sorry for.
So do I, but I just don't think he's got much future now.
I don't think he stays at the club beyond the summer. I think you go back to that game at Anfield where he really should have scored at least once. But other than that, he's been reduced to kind of coming on 5 minutes here, 10 minutes, where the game's over. You know,
that was going to be my point.
I don't think so. God, maybe I'm talking shit.
No, it's hard. It's hard for him to come into the team given the circumstances and make an impact.
The team's not set up for him to play. Him and Isak are two very different players. So when a team's set up to get the most out of Isak and Wilson comes on, I don't think that he's likely that he's going to be able to. Oh yeah, I can do that. No bother. I think he's willing.
He's not a game changer, is he?
Nah.
Then again, he came on against Palace, didn't he? Got like 20 minutes.
Did you get as much as that? Or the game was gone now.
But that's literally as soon as Isak scored, he was off, wasn't he? Yeah. But again, he's doing that to protect Isak because we need to nurse him through. And actually, what do you think he looks right?
Who, Wilson?
Isak?
No. There's been a couple of comments so far. People, I'll say it straight away, and it's
he's had his head turned by somebody.
El Grande Salmon puts it in first of all.
I don't think he's had his head turned. I think he just, whether it's tiredness, he's few aches and strains are coming towards the end of the season.
It was El Grande Salmon that mentioned it first about saying, does he look right or is he carrying an injury? Then Davey Eddy follows up saying, yes, if Isak is carrying an injury, then surely Wilson should be starting. Be great for his confidence to start a game.
I think that's another thing that makes me wonder if there's any prospect at all of Wilson staying, because if he stays beyond the summer, and there's been total contracts being offered and stuff like that, I don't know what the kind of truth is behind that. But I think if Wilson was looking to be staying beyond the summer and be in the first 11 for a few games, he probably starts 1 or 2 now. The fact that he isn't, to me, means that he's not starting.
Do you think though? I think if he's saying that he's ready to go each game, the fact we're still fighting for a Champions League spot, I think he starts every single game.
An 80% fit Isak is going to, you'd think, give you more than a. Well, he's let's say he's 80-90% fit because he's not fit because he's not getting any minutes and stuff like that. And
he's dropping the pitch, bless him.
So, but you would still, because of the form that Isak's been in, the way that he's been playing this season, you're going to take a gamble on him because put the pair of them in a similar situation. You'd think Isak's your man 9 times out of 10 that would take it, whereas Wilson maybe
even with Isak
isn't a sharp.
With Isak, and talk about is he getting the service and it does look right. That Palace game, he could have had a hat-trick, and in fairness, the one really early on, the keeper makes a great save.
Yeah, two great saves for
the one afterwards as well. He gets down well. There was a save. Was his Man U at home where he puts one on target and the keeper gets across and saves it well. He's not a player. I always remember a criticism that Glenn Hoddle would make of Andy Cole. was that he needs a few chances to put one away. He needs 3 or 4 chances to get one. And Isak's got a bit of that as well. We've seen earlier in the season when he was getting one-on-ones with players, going through one-on-one and he wasn't putting them away.
And he did 4 or 5 in a row. He missed, didn't it?
He did it earlier in the year. And then, like that Palace game, that was a great save there, a really good save. The second one, the third one, it got blocked and it's on his left foot on the turn. He can't blame him for putting that one wide because it's a hard.
He just hit and hopes, doesn't he?
The hardest chance he had, he scored. I would say that's a great finish. That. So whether or not he looks right, I don't think he looks unbelievable. Like, I don't think he looks. He's not doing the right thing 100% in the game. But who is?
I think we can look at a lot of players. I think we can look at a lot of players in this situation. Callum Lewis it's the same for Joe Linton. He hasn't looked right, and his right knee is always heavily strapped.
One thing when Wilson goes, if I might,
I
remember when it was during lockdown when we were doing this, and we signed Callum Wilson and Jamal Lewis in the summer.
Yeah,
and when Callum Lewis would write an hour, he plays for it. And soon when Wilson goes, because Lewis is out of the frame as well now. Callum Lewis is just going to become another name. He's going to be
just another name.
Just another name. Just
Callum's one of our OGs.
No, I know, that sounds really terrible. I appreciate it. Always do. But Callum was like, Callum Lewis, he plays for Newcastle.
I think it was Callum that me and Dick bumped out after the Wembley game.
Yeah,
I'm sure it was Callum.
It was
the Wembley game.
Yeah, it was
the Wembley game.
What a way to downplay that game. Well, the Wembley game.
The Wembley game. I'm scared if I mention that win, that Dasmo's photo is just going to come up behind us. The one from his trophy parade. Not Dasmo's trophy parade, the one that he took at the trophy parade.
He had his own trophy parade.
For loving trains, yeah. If anybody's got any questions, send them our way, and we'll go through as many as possible.
Sorry, Kris, you were mentioning Joe Linton's knee there.
Yes, Joe Linton's knee.
He's got more bandages than Alan St. Maximin at the minute.
I think he's just one of those players, to be fair.
I was asked it all the time.
Yeah.
Zidane quite often wore the wrist thing as well. Joe's he looked frustrated on Saturday as well.
Do you not think it was because if we go back to the referee, he got taken out a couple of times early on in the game by Kamara, him. He got taken out a couple of times, and the referee just let it go. Then as soon as Joe Linton got done the opposite, I think Joe Linton got booked in the early on. I think he might be the first player.
Imagine waiting
for so long.
It was the first game he was allowed to get booked then.
And he was waiting for so long to smash money, and he managed to do it. And I think he was getting a bit frustrated with the referee as well because he wasn't really getting given anything. Whereas the Villa player, I think he told him, I think it was his second or third time, the referee went over and went one more and you're getting booked. So you've done it 3 times already, mate.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Wonder why he did that. Prick.
Go on, Mark.
I don't like him. I don't like him.
Jared Gillett.
Yes.
He's the Australian, wasn't he?
Yeah. You know, as before he came over here, like all of the stuff that you saw of him on VAR and the announcements.
Because he was the one that done the announcement.
He was very, like, you always thought, he looks a good referee. And then came over here and he's a right knob.
I'm not that against him as what you are, mate.
Isn't it mad how every week we sit here and do this? And the referees are always terrible.
Well, to be fair,
the referees are all terrible.
There isn't many good referees, is there?
The referees are always terrible, and the commentators always hate it. Do you think that's just our perspective?
Tinfoil hat, mate.
Maybe it's just the home games where we have decent commentators and we just don't get to see it.
I just don't hear it.
Not there.
That's it. They have them all on again.
I think was it Chris Sutton for the Palace game? Because I watched it on the telly.
Yeah, it was.
I was poorly.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Was any good or not?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You don't remember because we were absolutely battering a team. You just don't remember.
I was fevery and stuff as well. Like, so I was really, I was quite sick of myself.
I don't think Chris. I think he's always been all right, hasn't he? Chris Sutton's
hated.
I think somebody slagged him off here in the comments, to be fair.
People really don't like Chris Sutton because he's seen as being quite miserable. I like that.
And he played for Celtic.
See what? That's not a problem.
That's a problem for me.
Oh, here he is.
I'm a blue boy.
Staunch. Mark Stauncher.
Let's go through some questions. The first one is from Rob Fish, who also sent in a donation earlier on. So thanks very much.
Thanks, Rob.
He says, "Do you think it's time to give Asula more minutes ahead of Wilson?"
No.
Yes.
I'm with Bessie. Like,
nice shit.
Yeah.
What? Nah.
I just did that to get a reaction, to be honest with you. But he is shite.
He's turned into me.
He goes on and he says, for me, Wilson looks 2-3 yards off the pace. Hold-up play isn't what it used to be, and dare I say, possibly done at this level.
He's for me, it's
possibly the case that,
he's more unpredictable than Wilson, isn't he? He's obviously he's not
be a good thing.
No, well, I mean, so when he came on the other week, he got it wasn't really a chance, but he tried to take a chance and the shot was never on and he took it. So there's that just experience side of things. But like, I mean, we've sat here a few times when he's played and talked about him. he's got good movement. He's fast, he's strong, he's powerful, and I think he would have caused more issues up against the defence than Wilson did.
I think
at the weekend.
Loves a blind alley. Loves running down. Sorry, dead end.
Clattering people.
And that's where that experience comes from. Of like,
I think physically, he's if you're just looking from a physical point of view, he's as good as I've seen for a long time. He's fast. He's good in the air. He can hit a ball. His decision making is absolutely terrible at the minute, and that's something that he's really got to. That's something that you can train. That how kind of instinct, maybe not so much, but give him some more how if Howe's fit and alive in the summer, kind of see how they get on. There's no World Cup this summer, no European Championships in the men's game at least. So like there's all something together. The preseason camps are going to Singapore for this tournament, and I've got. There's a really good chance to kind of take him under his wing and say, right, here's what we need you to do. It's a big summer for Sula, I think, because talk of getting you don't replace Trippier, Longstaff, Wilson, Pope, maybe it's not all of them. He would be if he can kind of get his head down and start making the right decisions, then he is Wilson's replacement. I'm straight away
firmly on the fence with the Sula. I just don't know.
It's because you never turn up at the cup games to watch him. That's why
he was shining the cup games for the most part.
Nah, he wasn't
against Bromley. Well,
nah, he wasn't because, and that's what I'm saying is that. During those games, he was making a lot of movements in running off the corner, off the shoulder of defenders, going into space in between them, and the ball wasn't coming to him. He was making some intelligent runs that nobody was looking for him for the pass.
I thought he played better out wide than he has through the middle.
Yeah, was it Birmingham?
Yeah, he had a good. He played the majority of the game out there, didn't he? Yeah.
I mean, argument it's League One, the one League One in a canter, like so. It's League One opposition in name only, maybe, but. Either way, I'm the same with Kris. I don't think I've seen some stuff that makes us think he could be a player. I've seen other stuff that makes us think like that one of us three's got a better chance.
I think it's a type of football that you're never going to know if he's good enough unless he gets the minutes, and I don't think he'll ever get the minutes here.
I wouldn't. He's one of those ones who could have a really good summer, go on and become like he could get 20, 30 goals season, whatever. He could also end up like Gateshead in 2 years' time.
Yeah, nah, he's better than that.
Is there? Can he say that? So?
Just like Gateshead off your
hometown.
Like
terrible, that. Terrible. If that still exists in the
National League team.
From that,
he's better than that.
Is he?
Absolutely.
I'm not saying he's National League. I'm not saying that. I don't know. I really don't know.
There's a player in there.
There could be. There definitely could be. Yeah, I agree.
He's got all the attributes to be. It's just like you say that bit of experience.
He's got a lot of
his decision making.
Yeah.
But what would also help is somebody actually looking at what he's doing on the pitch and the movement that he's got and the runs that he's making.
Yeah, right. What if one thing Tonali and Bruno don't have? It's that vision.
Well, I was actually surprised, and again, that's probably comes from Tonali playing deeper now. Is that we weren't exploiting that running in behind into the space and getting, because it just needed somebody that would feed that ball through to him, and that's not something that we do. We like to play
There's a couple
those
of
little triangles.
El Grande Salmon says he needs football, so on loan. Are we in a position where you
cannot send them out on loan?
A starting player, well, not a starting player, but somebody in the starting squad, match day squad. You can't loan those players out, unfortunately.
I think if Wilson was fit,
I think that time's gone for him.
Yeah, I think. How old is he now? Is he in his 20s? 21, 22?
Early 20s, yeah.
He's not even as old. He's only just 20, I think, isn't he?
Is he?
I think he was 19 when he came.
Is that all he was? Is it?
Yeah, he can't be any
much
older than
you might be right, Mark. Yeah, so he'll be 21 this year, maybe the oldest. So yeah, he may have a year or two where he's grace, but I still think this is a big summer for him.
And 21.
He came in as his third choice striker.
Be 22 at the start next season.
Essentially what he's doing. So but it's now getting to the point where
I would say it did as well.
You'd think he'd be troubling Wilson a bit more, and whether it's a trust issue of putting him in there, they're relying on Wilson's experience because he's been there and done it, rather than taking a bit of a chance on Asula.
It's a risk.
Do you think it's a bit too much of a dafty?
Maybe.
Oh, he's
getting Howe's up, and I'm thinking like, fuck, he's doing me head in this.
Well, it's not just any. All the players say he's off his tits, isn't he?
So you see someone come in, you think, oh,
why is he in the office today?
I need to get my head down, man.
Well, that's got ADHD.
He looks like a handful. Like he does look like a handful.
But they all love him. He's a nice lad.
Maybe he's just one of those ones that you can't get rid of.
Yeah,
just always there.
That's how I started doing this. 10 years now, really.
Right, let's go through some questions. Everybody else send some more questions. We've got a couple, but we'll send some more in.
I had a question for you.
All right, okay, thanks.
What did you make of the news at the weekend that Fabian Schär has now joined our top 10 ranks of most Premier League games played? 190 games.
He's the best defender pound for pound that we've ever signed.
About right, yeah.
Was it 3.5?
Wasn't even that, was it? 2.5?
No, I think
It was there. It was one of the two.
let's say 3.
Yeah, 3.
Meet in the middle.
Let's say 3.
Yeah.
Bargain, innit?
And he would have played even more had the previous manager had a bit more faith in him.
Well, he couldn't play in the back four.
Apparently not.
Yeah,
no.
couldn't. Who was it? It was Andy Carroll that commented on it.
Yeah.
Instagram post, wasn't it?
Great, that.
Saying, and Brucey put you on the bench or something like that, wasn't it?
Was after the
Just when he scored.
was
He
it
scored
Palace?
not the week before, wasn't it?
He scored against Man U.
He
Go
scored.
Palace then at the weekend as well.
Has he not scored 2 games running off?
Yeah, 2. He scored. He scored at the weekend. Just gone.
Oh, he did, of
against
course. He
Palace.
scored. Yeah, that's right.
Great header, to be fair.
Aye. It was a good header.
Yeah,
Aye.
it was a great header.
I think actually the Andy Carroll thing was he just played his
Wasn't it?
200th game or something.
Oh, was it? And he had just signed his new contract. Could have been that.
Maybe the
Yeah,
contract,
could have
could
been
have been
that.
that.
But
yeah,
it was a while ago.
I don't think there's any argument that he's been a brilliant. I mean, you think he's been here since 2017, 2018? It'll be when Rafa signed him, because he didn't come that first season was when we had Lejeune, and then I think Schär came the second summer with Fernandes.
Fernandes, yeah.
To be great defenders.
I thought Fernandes.
Lejeune and Federico
Swansea,
Fernandes. Swansea, yeah.
Swansea, and then he went back.
He was
Argentina.
great, wasn't
He's retired now, I think. I love Fernandes. I thought
Yeah,
I always had this thing where you had him, Manquillo. I think he got the best out of Manquillo just because he speaks Spanish.
Mm.
You know, someone else. I forget who it was now in the defense. I'm sure of it. But yeah, Scher's been he must be in my top 20 Premier League goal scorers as well.
Oh, I don't know if he'd be.
He's
as
scored
high
some
as
goals,
top
lad.
20, like, but he's got a fair few goals.
I wouldn't be shocked. Like, no.
He's in good company, and in fairness, he's on 190 Premier League appearances, and his next target is 194 Steve Taylor. So only 4 more games. He'll do that by the end of this season. After that, you're then getting up to Aaron Hughes at 205. So
Seems mad that he played that much. Aaron Hughes.
I know. He's one of the players I always forget about.
Yeah,
I loved him as well.
he was
He was
just
great player, but
Mr. Reliable,
Yeah.
just under the radar, get on with it, and played all over
He
that back
played a
forward,
lot
didn't
of positions, didn't he?
Mm.
So, and then you've got Colaccini on 211, Speed on 213. Solano's your next big jump up at 230. So you'd have to play another 40 games to break into the top 5, which
don't
it's like
think-
another
I don't think he's got
season,
another
really.
40 in him,
is
like.
that just Premier League?
Just Premier League.
Yeah, I don't think
I'm not sure he'll get to
I
that,
think
but
he'd be
you'd
just shy,
think
like.
he'd probably.
I mean, that's another 40. That's another full season, basically.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
38 games a season.
So if he can get another, he's going to get another 5 this season for sure. You would have thought,
For
unless
shit,
something-
Schär. It's Schär.
for sure.
Shit.
So that'll take him to 195, and then it's just got to get a 213 to overtake Speed and go in at number 6. So you'd think you'd get another 10, 15 games in next season.
You'd have thought
You
so.
would
Like,
have,
he's got a new contract, hasn't he? So
Yeah.
yeah, it depends who comes in again. When Botman's fit, do you play Botman and Schär together? Do you bring in someone like, I'm not going to say Gay,
And
but
other.
someone along those lines,
Yeah.
and then because I mean that's one thing we've commented, that the defense isn't particularly quick, and it's not. It's also not very young.
He's 23rd on the list, Bestie, by the way.
23 for goals.
23rd.
El Grande Salmon puts it in the
surprising,
chat.
Thanks, Grande Salmon.
Just another name in a couple of years'
Just
time.
another
Bestie will say.
Just another name. I had a big salmon as well, not so long since.
Big salmon.
That is impressive. Is he? Is the full list there? Is he the highest scoring defender?
He's not put a full list in
He's
there.
just put in there.
Probably will be. I've
those-
scored a few, but
There was a chart going around the other day, and he's like top 5 or something for defenders.
in the Premier League or for us.
For us, not in the, I don't think it was Premier League, because some of the players went years and years back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I saw it
So
on
there's
social.
4 other defenders with more goals than him for us.
I'm
He's-
sure there was.
He must be the highest in the Premier League era, though.
Yeah, he has to be. Yeah.
Oh, right. Of all, right.
The rest of
Because
them
I
are
love
like
when you go
years
back,
back.
like,
Yeah, right. Okay.
I had all the. To be fair, I had the screenshot of it because I was going to mention it.
That's what I was trying to think.
last time, but I
Who were the
forgot.
4 going to be higher than that?
yeah.
But if it's all
I would guess in our
If
lifetime.
it's the old championship,
Well,
first
yeah, Kris
division
is-
and stuff like that.
Even most like from the most recent centre backs, like he's miles ahead of them.
Yeah, yeah.
Like miles ahead of
You're
them.
probably going back there. I kind
the
of think of
Sells,
it
Colo,
centre half
miles
who would
ahead.
have even come close.
But we never used to score from set pieces. It was about 10 years we never scored one, wasn't it? Pardew's entire existence.
Yeah.
You won't have seen him on TV on Wednesday for the Palace game. You see, he's kind of beige jacket and he's white. He looked like an old timer. Remember when we were kids in the 80s, 60s, Mark, for you, and you at someone's 60th birthday party or whatever, and they looked really old. And like 60-year-olds now don't look that old. Like I think like my dad 67 doesn't look like what I think a 67-year-old bloke would have looked like when I was a kid. Like Alan Pardew looked like an old timer going on a cruise on a Charabanc tour or something like that. Like
I can imagine him looking like a crooner.
No, honestly,
like a dinner jacket and
he had a light
silver hair.
He had a light coloured t-shirt on, and it was like a beige sports jacket. No, not a sports jacket. Even it was almost like a
cheat, like a.
It's really
not canvas, linen.
No, that was
linen
like
chino.
It was almost like a kind of one of those kind of puffer jackets that old people wear.
A puffer jacket,
not a puffer jacket. It's really hard to describe. Pardew.
Ah, weird.
Honestly, it was such a look. I was waiting to
never take fashion advice from Besty. He's just described about 7 different outfits. Yeah,
was that?
Yeah.
Well, it's like a blouse on. Is that like a zipped fleece?
It's like a zip. It's like a zip up.
Is it a sweatshirt?
No, it's a jacket because it's got one of them zips down the sleeve as well. Gone off now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like I'm going to say that's a 3/4 zip. In fact, it is a 3/4 zip. You can see where it stops there.
But is that not just where it zip up to?
Nah, that's got stitching across there. Yeah. 3/4 zip.
Is that what it was?
Well, yeah.
There we go.
It's quite fashionable there, actually.
Not that one. Go on.
No. Well,
one of them you're
seen your joggers, Mark.
They're painted on joggers.
We're not taking fashion tips from you, mate.
Like you haven't worn since. I've noticed.
I don't actually even know where they are. You know.
You know, is your body not enveloped?
Certainly, it hasn't been cold enough to wear them. Well, I did have to wear jeans the other day during the day as well.
You're literally wearing jeans now.
You're wearing jeans now, yeah.
I'm like reasonably smart for today because I've been out today.
So you put all this effort in for you guys watching.
Reasonably smart.
Let's go through next questions. Jules says, if it's fashion content you need, hit the like button. Yeah, we're definitely not the ones to get fashion tips off.
It is Gated Fashion Week this week.
Is that right?
No, I just made it up.
All right. That could well have been true.
Is that right?
Gateshead's that kind of place.
Been hosted down at the Hilton.
That was a garden festival, didn't they? Remember that years ago?
It is, yeah. It's a housing estate now.
Down the Staithes, isn't it? Down that way.
Staithes was the end part of it,
Yeah.
in Dunstan. It started at the end of the Team Valley, which is now called Festival Park.
Yes, it is. Aye.
That was the entrance and went all along there across to the teams and then down to the Staithes.
Yeah. It was good that I was only a pain.
99? Was it 1990?
It was, aye.
Yeah, I remember being there.
You remember that, Kris? Garden festival.
No idea what he's talking about.
Yeah, no, Gated Garden.
I used to go around like there could
Hang
be
on,
like a
what was
different
it?
city, like
What was
every
it?
year.
There's
Wasn't it?
pants everywhere.
Yeah, it was nice.
Aye.
It was a good little. It was like I said.
I mean, it was huge. Well, you know, obviously where Festival Park starts at the end of the valley.
Fucking massive. Huh?
It went all the way along there to where the flats are at the end of there.
Like on the route to the
Across
metro side.
Yeah.
across the road where the pits and that is now,
Aye.
and then wrapped down there down to the States. So it was a huge,
It was massive.
huge space.
Yeah.
Right, it's all housing estates these
A lot
days.
of it is apartments and flats down
All
there.
new
isn't
builds,
it?
isn't it?
Yeah.
Except like Redriff along the flats. That's obviously got the Redriff Boys Club and the football pitches and all of that still in there.
Yeah.
It was
Another
part
question.
of the garden centre.
It's from
Garden festival.
El Grande Salmon again.
Big salmon.
He says, if we finish.
A lot of fishing content related.
Rob Fish and El Grande Salmon.
Salmon.
So he says, if we finish 6th, how would you view the season overall?
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's a fucking fantastic season.
Finished higher than last season, won a cup.
Mhm.
And we
Yeah.
finished pretty well last season. No, I mean, from the being third now and however many points ahead of 6th that we are, it would be in that context, it's kind of it's a bit of a shame. But if you're looking at the start of the season, we would have all taken 6th in a cup win.
Well, we'll find out in a couple of weeks. It's in them little envelopes,
Oh,
isn't
did
it?
we do that this year? I
The
can't remember doing
predictions, yeah.
that. Was I
we
here
did
for that?
the bind. I think all 4 of them are on there. I
Are they?
think. Yeah, we did it. Yeah, I can't remember. I think normally in the envelopes we do top goal scorer, most assists, flop of the season, player of the
goal
season,
scorer, player of the season, league position.
And do we do cups or not? Nah, I don't think we do. I think we do cups. No cups, league position. That's it.
Yeah. I honestly can't remember what
I think I can remember one, which is fucking the worst prediction. I think I've done one. That absolute egg on my face if I remember what I've put in there. Like,
Did we put like surprise package of the season as well as flop of the season?
nah, it's like we'll just
Or
do
is it
that.
just player of the season?
Yeah, I'm sure.
What has been your surprise package for Newcastle this season, Mark?
Oh,
I don't know if there's really been one. Tino's been great at left back, but we kind of knew that he had that in him.
Lewis Hall for me.
probably Lewis Hall.
would
Yeah,
probably be,
yeah, probably
I'd
Lewis Hall.
I'll go along with that, I think, yeah.
Given
Dubravka, when he had
the
that.
lack of time that we gave him, not in what a good player I thought he particularly was, but
Jacob Murphy, obviously.
oh god, actually, that's a shout.
I think that's what was flop of the season.
Yeah.
I think.
Thing is, that,
You know what it is? In some respects, it's mad. He's the best, worst footballer you've ever seen in your life.
the thing is with Murphy, he's been playing well for that long now that you forget that he ever wasn't.
Yeah. If you're given like a surprise of the season, it has to be. It has to be.
Jacob Murphy,
has to
yeah,
be.
of course it has.
But yeah,
It's madness. Because even in a game, he can be terrible and he'll score 2 goals or get 2 assists.
I'd say that.
And that's the bits you remember.
And that goal at Leicester, where it took him 4 or 5 touches to get under control.
Yeah.
It's either him or Miggy that I've got as flop of the season.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's one of those two.
Oh, Mickey.
God, Miggy.
Has he?
Still done with him?
Still done with him.
Seems like-
Have you been checking? I've not looked for a couple of weeks.
Still done with him?
Nothing.
Nothing. It's like we're dead to him.
Maybe it's just hurts him too much. I remember being in a pub in Norwich, right, when it was Shea Gibbons' Man City debut, and I couldn't watch the game. It was like watching your girlfriend with a new fella. It was horrible. And that kind of maybe that's Miggy's thing as
Your
well.
girlfriend with a new fella, like just cheating on you.
Or ex-girlfriend, I'd say then. Yeah. And Miggy,
It's funny because some blokes like that kind of stuff these days, don't they?
apparently so, yeah.
Cuckold, I believe it's called.
No,
Beg your pardon.
I think maybe it's just too hard for Miggy. He's looking back on a winning cups, and maybe that's what he's into. Oh, Mark's gone.
It's just got more sexual the more we spoke. Oh, he's doing that proper laugh as well. He's gone. He's gone. Right, let's see if we've got any more questions. I'm not sure what I have, but one from Blue Rhythm Boy that says, do you think Howe will be back on the touchline this season?
I'm not convinced he will, you know. Is he still in hospital? I think I read that he was.
So every time Jason Tindall is asked about it, he just says there's no further update. Then he says, have you been in contact with him? Then he doesn't say yes or no. But it's like
he must be.
He said,
of course
he said they've exchanged text messages.
That was the first time he was asked when he took over the first game. But he kind of dodged the questions when he's asked them. So no idea. I'm surprised. I'm surprised the club haven't released something like a statement. No, like as in like a update sort of thing.
Yeah, pneumonia. Can't even say it. Pneumonia is a canny old bloody thing to get over. Like he could be away for a good long time.
Yeah, but I think Jason was asked. Jason, best mates. He was asked if he was still in hospital, and he didn't say yes or no.
Maybe he doesn't know.
You must know.
Why not?
I'm surprised he's not there alongside him. Just shouting and bawling at people walking past. Like there's been no
nicking prescriptions.
It's that thing, isn't it? Like they've came out and said, well, it's a private situation, which you can understand that side of things, but it is a worry that we've got to that stage where it was over a week before we heard what was going on, and some people, but it was after because he got taken in. He'd been ill for the entire week, and then he went into hospital, I think, on either the Wednesday or Thursday. We played on the Saturday, and it wasn't until...
It was the Monday, wasn't it?
The Monday that they then announced it. Yeah. So no, but he'd been ill over... Because he'd been ill in the run-up to it. He'd been off work. Is he off work? Technically.
Do you ring in sick? Who does he ring in sick to?
Darren Eales?
Mitchell.
No,
he's not.
Mitchell's not his boss. Mitchell's not his boss.
Who does he
Darren
ring?
Eales.
If you're a manager, who do you ring in sick to?
Eales is the gaffer.
Eales is poorly as well, isn't it?
If you're a player, who do you ring in sick to? Would it be like player liaison
It'll
officer
be
or
player
something like that?
liaison
Never
officer.
get Eddie
Yeah.
can come in and do it.
Do you reckon they get sick days?
What, paid sick days?
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Do you reckon, no, I mean, do you reckon,
Like hit triggers.
do you reckon, like, if you're sick, if
Fuck, Marcelino didn't.
You've been off 3 times in the last
Send
week.
me
You're
right.
Send me on.
like, sit down and chat and that, like, your attendance is
There's a few over the years that needed a performance-related.
But that's the thing that I mean, they could still
young.
They could still be turning up for work and then just going like sitting in the. But if you're poorly, oh, I'm not very well, boss. I'm under the weather. Like like if you're sick, I was off sick a couple of days last week because we had the sickness and diarrhea in the house. But like,
Wondered what the smell was.
Yours smells like that. He's just never close enough.
Honking.
this is me hoodie. I'm just
Just got it in Mark.
we've but like a player who's injured is still normally at the club, and a botman's been in.
If they're getting treatment, and
So that's
stuff,
still not off sick. But
Yeah.
if someone's like, "Oh, I've got the flu, I've got COVID," like
when we had that pink eye breakout,
oh,
and they told them all to stay away from training.
Conjunctivitis,
Like eczema with Matty Target.
You see, I forget what
He
I've
made
seen
it.
this
You
on
kind of
now.
pass that on though, can you?
I saw.
It's not like contact.
I think it was on my Facebook, Instagram reels, and it was like players were not kids, but like young. So Bruno in Brazil being a younger lad and all that, like in Jordan, and you can say, "Oh, young lads, my Target looks exactly the same."
I
But he's
fully
wearing
imagine
he's
it.
wearing a suit
Yeah.
with a baggy, like a big tie that's a bit loose. And it's like he just looks like a schoolboy.
I love the picture of Dan Byrne when he played for Darlington with his bleached
Oh,
blonde
well,
hair and
he's
all that.
Decker hair.
Every now and then you get the goal he scored for Yeovil that comes up. He starts flossing. Sorry, was it Wigan? I think it's Wigan because the Yeovil one's at Wembley, isn't it? When he's,
Classic.
Scott says, "Who does they return to work?"
yeah,
It's a question that I want answered now.
it's a weird thing because they're employees.
Yeah.
So technically,
Yeah.
So injuries don't count. We're not saying injuries count.
well,
it's-
it's if you're injured, you
it's
still
sickness.
turn up and get your
Yeah.
rehabilitation and stuff. You follow that program.
Maybe they got a
If you're
chemist.
sick,
Like Joe Willock. Joe Willock would have been on the pattern Mick last week with his concussion.
Yeah, but that's
but again, that's-
injury.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
putting that as injury.
Aye, but he wouldn't have been coming into training, would he?
Well, he's not,
No, but still,
Yeah,
nah,
but
I'm
it'll
letting him
be-
off with that one.
it's a workplace accident, so he's putting a fully accident book in.
Aye, probably. Health
I'm,
and safety.
I'm really like
If you-
intrigued by this question now.
Can I Luke Marshall know?
Luke Marshall, no, yeah.
What
So-
happens when if Bruno wakes up tomorrow morning and goes like, "Oh, now I've got a bit of a tummy bug," yeah. Like,
Who did you report to?
it was you and how
It's that ball bloke.
how's
That big ball bloke that drives him around everywhere.
who
Tim.
Getting got
What's
a
he called,
register.
Glenn or something?
And he's sitting at the start of the register. March, yes, sir. Joe, yes, sir.
But it's like when you see, because I know like England do it all the time when the players are reporting for duty. They've got the woman that goes out and meets them, who
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
assuming
right.
she's the player liaison,
yeah.
and she like marks them all in and takes the bags
Marks
in and
them
all
in.
that. Yeah, she does. Got like a little clipboard and that, and then
The
they've got to
morning-
go in and then they physically got to sign in, like in a register.
Like a tutor.
But when they go into Benton, Little Benton, they go in, go through that door. That's the only bit we see. What we don't see is just behind that door, got a little clocking in machine,
We don't
just
see
there with all the pictures of
Fred
cards
Flintstone.
in, clock
We don't see
themselves
them
in.
go to form class.
That's what they're doing. They can clock in and then they can into the canteen and have the breakfast.
I'm gonna have to find out. I'll send a couple of messages and like people at the club, like
I will
working at the
find that
club.
out. That'll
We'll
be
find out
interesting,
like who a player reports to if they're feeling unwell. Maybe they just don't turn up.
They'll have to let they'll have to
Not
let the
Steve
coach
Bruce
in.
climbing out of the
Well,
fence. Who did he do that to? Was Steve Bruce turn up at somebody's house? Wasn't a Newcastle player. Was that another club?
All right. I want to say
That rings a
I was gonna
bell.
say Kevin Nolan, but I don't think he ever.
Nah,
Did
was
Nolan
a
play
young,
for Bruce
was a
No,
younger
Ke-
player?
Was that not Andy Carroll and Kevin Nolan where
That
he
might be what I'm
turned
getting.
on that to climb over his fence or something?
Well, Carroll had to live in Nolan, didn't he? For a
Aye.
little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
I'm sure it was when he was at Villa.
then did Nolan's house get firebombed? Or his car got firebombed?
Car. I think a car.
Drive,
got- Yeah, yeah.
He's rangy.
But Agbonlahor or someone like that, maybe.
I can't remember who it was.
Was Agbonlahor there when he was at Villa?
Nah, I think it was a younger player. It was definitely a younger player. But
I thought it was our door there.
all right. But yeah, I'm sure Bruce went and turned up at somebody's front door.
Yeah.
Somebody,
Steve
somebody
Bruce.
in the chat.
Steve
Oh,
Bruce
yeah,
turned
no,
up at our
what
doors.
have you been saying about me? Where's the beer, lads?
It was Ross McCormick at Villa.
Ross
Right.
McCormick.
Yeah, that's who it was. Did he drop down the leagues? He did eventually, didn't he?
Ross McCormick.
Yeah.
for
That's Steve
Sunderland.
Bruce has done as well.
he was very ready up, was he? Yeah.
Top manager though, over 1,000 games.
Oh, that was
Mhm.
the best, aye. Anything that you want to add before we end it?
No,
Oh, Mark, I was banking on you having something there.
No.
I'm quite enjoying myself.
it's just it's a weekend to forget, isn't it? from a footballing respect.
In just in general, like I say, I've not been very well, like so. Aye,
Well, I've had a nice weekend. Other than that,
I had a nice weekend. Amy, it was me and Alf in the house, like so. We just kind of sat and watched lots of films. And
What film did you
Yeah,
watch?
FIFA.
I went to see the Minecraft movie last week.
did people behave themselves?
did university
Yeah.
let people turn up and spoil it? So that's apparently a thing these days.
What?
I not seen this, but the
University students, when some chicken or something turns up.
where there's chucking popcorn and stuff
Minecraft film.
like
It's
that.
the Flint and Steel and the chicken jockey bits are both like it's like the
But it's
three-
Americans in it.
No, it's over here. It's
Is
loads.
it?
That's big,
Josh Banyard put a thing on Facebook because me and I took Alfie weeks ago and it was fine. Went without kind of note. And then I got home and I was on Facebook and Josh said, "Oh, if you're going to see Minecraft, beware," because it's like. And I've seen a few people around here have said, "Oh yeah, we had the same thing."
Nah.
I've seen nothing of it.
To be fair, I went like early doors. Like we were there
Yeah.
for like the 9:30 show.
Ah,
and
they
there was
was-
hardly anybody in.
They'll have still been in bed.
It's hardly anybody in. Good movie, to be fair.
It's all right enough.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
Jason Momoa plays. He's got crack in.
Yeah. Good movie.
It's very. It's kind of made for Jack Black as well, isn't it?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Ben's loved it, like so.
Yeah, it's good. It's all right. It's good. A nice way to spend an hour and a half or so. But watch that. Watch Cars. He loves Cars.
What language was that?
Cars. It's
Not
American.
a bit before that.
Minecraft. Jason Momoa.
Cars like Cars. Cars is a great movie.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Disney movie?
Quality.
Favorite Disney
Like
movie?
animation.
100% up.
Up.
Absolutely love up.
All right.
It's
Greatest.
all right. Up. It's not my favorite though. Favorite Disney movie animation. Oh, I
Like
don't
new
know.
gen, not old. Like new gen.
So like not the classics. I'm talking like the
Yeah,
Pixar.
yeah, yeah.
Pixar.
Not
ones.
like when he
Pixar
was a
ones,
kid, like
yeah. Not Snow
Sleeping
White,
Beauty
man.
and that, and Snow White.
Nice films, them, you know.
Yeah.
Um.
I'll give you mine. What
Go
are
on
you
then.
thinking? Moana.
Yeah, Moana's
Moana.
a great film. Like,
Good,
aye,
like
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Cars.
You
is a
strike me
shout.
as a Frozen kind of guy.
I've never seen it.
Shut up.
Never seen it.
What?
The boys weren't born until after it was kind of really a thing. And just it hasn't come up, but we'll do at some point. I've got no doubt. But favorite Disney film, I love Coco.
Coco's a
Oh, I
shout
like
as
Really
well.
Coco.
good, but
Coco's
a
good
Christ,
film.
it cripples you at the end of it.
Yeah,
Like.
Yeah, it's
Coco's
good
a shout.
film.
Inside Out's a good one.
I think Deck has his Toy Story.
There's a new one.
Hi,
Isn't
Deck,
it?
if you're listening.
Toy
I'm
Story.
sure
Which
Deck
one?
has Toy Story. No, I think
The original.
I would have. Yeah,
I
I'm sure
think
it's
the
Toy
first one's the
Story.
pick of the bunch, but you watch the newer ones and they look far better. Like,
Yeah.
they're all good. The Toy Story films are great.
That gets you a bit as well when he's
The last one does.
grown up.
I think the last from the first two, not so much, but 3, 4, and 5 have all got
Yeah.
big bits in where it's like, whoa, hang on a sec.
Could do this as a spin-off, couldn't we?
Yeah,
Just talk about Disney movies.
as long as we leave it. At
We could
Disney.
do it around about Christmas time and like talk about Christmas films. So I don't think it'd catch on, like, but
Yeah, I don't think we'd
Still
ever.
one of my
think-
favorite.
don't think people would be
things ever.
interested.
It's one of my favorite shows we've ever done. That
It was ridiculous. That was been 5, 6 years ago. It was COVID, wasn't it? So
Sure,
it
COVID,
was
yeah.
like,
yeah.
One of
yeah,
my favorite ones. Like,
Christmas 2020, it would have been.
I guess it probably was around then. When we're all swimming in red stripe because
bathing.
That's 50 pence a can. Couldn't do
Yeah.
it.
it was brilliant.
It was great. Great days.
Those were the days.
Jules has asked me to do a one-off special in the Ashley again. Could be possible, like, but I couldn't be also carry all this equipment
Yeah.
down. To be fair,
It's not Chris now either. Is it?
no, I could still sort it.
Oh,
like,
yeah, we are.
I could still sort it. But yeah, it was too much of a chew on, Jules. Like sorting that out every single week, setting it up, and that when we can just turn up here and just sit down and crack on.
But them fucking flies are still there in the corner.
Fuck, I forgot about the flies. Yeah, fuck.
Yeah,
the
Joe's still
flies.
there.
Over there.
I love you, actually, me.
I was in there on Friday. No, Saturday.
Oh, you didn't send us your normal.
You would guess that Ashley. It's hard not to figure the
Yeah.
Ashley out.
I don't go to pubs that often. I've
You could have sent them it from the top of the stairs. That's an unusual angle to get.
How?
Yeah, me sit there. I'm gonna go upstairs for a second.
If I
Just
took
to
a
take this
photo
photo
going
of
down the
Ashley.
Ashley stairs, you would 100% get it. Like 100%.
I've
Got the
been
big window at the bottom.
up and down those
No, I
stairs.
mean, like,
hundreds of times. Like
No, you
The top of the stairs.
100% get it.
I don't know.
100% get it. Right, that's done. People haven't got a clue what we're talking about. Every time I'm in a pub, a different pub, I'll send a photo, like a quirky photo, isn't it? I don't just take a photo of a pub and send
they're
it.
often very
in the
hard to
group.
get. To be honest,
I'll
with
take
you.
like a photo of the carpet on the ceiling, and we'll try and make Bestie. Guess what it is? And his first point
That's
of
a
call
full-on
is to go on
thing, but,
Instagram and see if my lasses
It's
tagged us
tagged you.
anywhere.
Always.
That's it, always.
First thing I do, I give it 5 minutes. Right, Instagram. Go on Amy's thing. Yep, sure enough.
So
there
the
you are.
last time I'd done it, I said to Ozzy, have you put anything on social media? Then when you got it, I went, you put something on, haven't you? She
Just
says,
put something.
yeah.
I've haven't gone for a walk. Right, I've been for a walk. They're not going to be walking. They're going to be down the coast. Probably that was Newcastle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was a hard one. It was just the
That
tiled
carpet.
floor.
There was nice tiles
Tiled
those as
floor.
well, mine.
Yeah. Right, we've gone well off. Thanks everybody for joining me.
Carpets of Weatherspoons. It's a real account.
Those are
It is
WH
plates
Smith's
at Weatherspoons,
carpets.
those plates as
It's
well,
a
wasn't
Weatherspoons.
it?
I don't. Most of them are the
plates.
same though.
Those white and blue flowery things are funny
Yeah.
plates.
But the carpets, every Weatherspoons has got a different carpet.
All right.
And it's customized to represent the local area.
All right.
Is that actually?
That's actually a true fact.
Sounds like a tax write-off to me. That greedy out.
So all of the
like that
all
for?
of the all of the carpets are individual, and they'll all have a pattern to.
I know they've got different carpets, but I didn't think it was anything to do with the
represents
area.
local area.
They're just shit pubs, aren't they?
Kids are just covered in piss on the floor.
I bet it's got the angel in it.
Which is the one in Gator? What's it called?
The
Something stone.
Tilly Stone. On
Nah,
Jackson
it'll be
Street.
something to do with the pits and stuff, isn't it? Is that not what the whole thing is? The Tilly Stone.
That's just the smell.
I'm sure. I'm sure the
I don't
photo
even know what the
Tilly
pits.
Stone is.
I'm sure it's like, I don't know. I've got no idea. We're well off again. Right. Thanks everybody for joining with tonight. If you are watching this one, just like the video. If you, what you looking at? You looking up the
Googling what
comments?
the Tilly Stone is.
All right, okay.
You guys thinking, yeah?
We're only doing weekend games now. There's no more midweek.
Weekend
together
games,
season,
yeah.
So it's all
For this season, next season we're back
next
to
season
midweek.
by crikey extra games. That
I know.
I was saying the Champions League, any European competitions extra, except for the Conference League. Actually, that's the only one. I think you only play 8 rather than 10. Yeah. But then we've got the qualifiers for that, if that's what we're in. So
True. Cancels now. But yeah, like the video.
You're right. It was mine
Become
unrelated.
a subscriber if you'd like to do that. If you do want to give an extra bit back, it is just $2.99 a month to become a member. You get early access to videos, you get extra videos, you get access to that Telegram group as well. We will see you next week. There will be match previews, match reactions, everything coming your way. See you later. Ta-ra.
bye.